yako safety.
Hello viewers, we want to welcome you to backyard, to our farm, Samia Farms, where we mainly focus on dairy goats. And we have here our dairy goats. We have a few dairy goats. This door here, this is a cross. It's a cross of an alpine dairy goat, and an alpine dairy goat and a Saanen. So you can see we also have here an alpine dairy goat. See, this is an alpine dairy goat. This is the mother with the farm. You can see the brown body, there's black stripe from the head to the tail. You can see white markings in the feet. A very good mother. When we got it, it was doing 3/4 of a liter, and right now it's at 1.5. At its peak, it can hit up to 2 liters of milk each and every day. And then recently we have had a Saanen. This is a Saanen back. You can see a Saanen back. It's white, its body is white. You can see its distinct horns, and then you can see its mouth, pinkish. It's pinkish in the mouth area. So this is a Saanen back. We also have on the other side, we also have alpine backs. These are our alpine backs. You can see this pedigree back. You can see another one, and another female alpine. That's a doe. And now they are just feeding. So basically they are good, and we are continuing well. So please join us as we discuss dairy goat farming, and I hope you'll enjoy. Dairy goat farming. Maybe you're asking yourself, you want to start dairy goat farming. Where do you start? So first of all, as a farmer or an aspiring farmer, first of all, you need a proper house for your dairy goats, because these goats, the initial capital for you to start the project is a bit high. So basically you need a very good environment where they'll be sheltered from extreme sunlight and rain. They also need housing that will enable them not to be infected by too many diseases. Number 2, you need feeds. You need a source of feeds. To begin with, you can just be harvesting local bushes, as we as a farm do, and then you can be incorporating grasses as you advance. And it's recommended that you use dry matter. Dry matter for dairy goats is a tick, because when you use dry matter, then there are less cases of bloatage, there are less cases of diseases from bacteria. So basically we recommend that at all times endeavor to ensure that your feeds, even if they are from shrubs, they stay for at least 1 or 2 days before you can give to your goats. That gives sufficient time for the water to reduce in your feeds. And also giving dry matter, it also helps with the milk, because when animals do feed on dry matter, they also do drink so much water, and as you know, water equals milk. And then number 3, you need to decide on the breed that you want. At the beginning, I showed you some of the breeds that we have. We have alpines in our farm. We have a cross of an alpine and a Saanen that we bought from a farmer, and we also have a pure Saanen back. So you have to decide, and you decide basing on what your project is all about. If it's a commercial venture, you want to get into commercial dairy farming, then it's advisable that you go for the Saanen or the alpine. Go for the Saanen or the alpine, because the Saanen, we nickname it the Friesian of the dairy goat world, because it can produce under good management. it can produce up to 5 liters of milk each and every day. So 1 liter here in Kakamega town where we are at goes at 150 Kenya shillings. So you can just calculate your profit. That's for one dairy goat. Sorry for that. And the Alpine is a bit low, 3 to 4 liters under good management, and the Toggenburg is more or less the same. So you have to decide whether you want a Saanen, whether the production is just for your own personal consumption, then you can go for a Saanen, for a Toggenburg or an Alpine. It will serve you, or a Cross will also serve you for just your personal needs. And then when it comes to the Alpines, we have 3. We have the German Alpine, we have the British Alpine, and we have the French Alpine. The British Alpine is a bit, it has a black body with brown markings. I've shown you the German Alpine, and we also have the French Alpine. So you have to know how to differentiate these 3 breeds. And what I normally advise young farmers is that please engage experienced farmers or experts when you are sourcing for your animals, because you may use so much money and yet your breeds are not pedigree. So please engage experienced farmers or have an expert to guide you in the process of selecting these dairy goats that you need in your farm. Now, when it comes to these dairy goats, some people are peddling rumors they are sickly. No, under good management, even at my current farm, we have not experienced any serious sickness for at least a year. So when properly managed, there is no challenge of sickness. So that's a no. And then your dairy goats, now you have to start managing them after they start producing, because you will not allow your bag to sire its kids. So you have to have a plan. What will you be doing when and if your kids now start to mature? You must have a plan, because if you allow that, then you'll be reducing your fertility and the strength of your kids. So you have to decide that. Now, as a dairy goat farmer, there are 3 things that are important. There are some people who, when they hear dairy goats, they just look at the figures. When you Google it, you see a Saanen just 5 liters. Before you get those 5 liters, you must work for it. Number 1, the genetics. What are the genetics that make up your animal? Is your animal a pure Alpine doe, or is it a cross? And management, how was it managed? There was a farmer I was interacting with in our last video. He said that you must manage your kid from day 1 if you want a high milk production. What do I mean by that? You must allow your kids to suckle for at least 3 months, or you must provide alternative milk. There is a farmer that I engaged with who just kept a dairy cow for the purposes of feeding his kids. So the goat milk was being sold, but he was using dairy cow milk to feed his goat kids. So you have to allow them for at least 3 months. Now, when they achieve 3 months, now they are very strong. Now you start slowly introduce them to feeds as they grow up. And then you have to remember the vaccination schedules, and a few additions like vitamins, like the vitamin boosters you have to give your dairy goats. Now when mature, now you want to see that 5 liters of milk. Number 1 thing you must do, ensure you provide quality feeds, especially dry matter. Dry matter is very important. Especially ensure you provide clean drinking water for your dairy goat. This will save you from a lot of waterborne diseases, and then ensure that they have a comfortable place. That's why we advise our farmers that they should have a raised structure, especially for dairy goats. These local goats can just sleep in these normal structures, but dairy goats ensure that you have a raised structure. And my structure, I've raised it using wood, so you can just use wood and you have a raised goat structure. Which animal, which dairy goat do you have? Which type are you seeking to have? Do you have any challenges? Please, in the comment section, you can just comment and we will engage. Thank you.